I was supposed to have said it to her. Everything that God said to me, I was supposed to have said to her. I wasn't supposed to hold nothing back. Because if I hold back in my covenant, they're failed. They're failed. If I hold back in my covenant, we're going to end up divorced. Point blank. If I hold back, let's use a friendship. If I cut a covenant friendship with you and I hold back in it, at some point in time, the exposure that I've held back is going to come out. God help me. It's going to come out. Not to mention, the part that I'm holding back could jeopardize something. Because if you be done mess around and went somewhere, or went and did something, or got in contact with somebody that we wasn't even supposed to be in contact with, but because I ain't told you everything that I heard from him, now you don't went over here talking to the serpent. You don't hold back in covenants, y'all. You don't hold back in, girl, you praying. You don't hold back in covenants. You don't. It's a danger to hold back in a covenant. It's a danger to be in a covenant and say, well, I can't talk to them. Y'all better hear what I'm saying to you. That's dangerous. That's a very dangerous thing. It's very dangerous. God help me. I got to get out of here. It's dangerous, y'all. It's a very dangerous thing because it'll tell on you after a while. And see, what it'll start doing is it'll start undermining. It'll start undercutting, and it'll start putting discrepancies in between you, and so you don't trust each other, and you holding back all this time. You don't do that in covenant. See, if you in covenant with somebody, they love you with the breath in the morning. If you in covenant with somebody, they love you with the weight loss and the weight gain. When it's really covenant, because a covenant is two becoming one. It's an agreement. It means that I love you for better and worse. I love you in sickness and in health. I love you for richer or for poor, and for poor I mean. That's what it is when it is a covenant. And so therefore, if you hold back anything, then that covenant is in danger. You can't hold back in covenants. You can't hold back in covenants. You can't say I'm your pastor. You can't have me. Get away from me. Go find you one. Go get the one you need. You can't do that. Because the thing of it is I don't care what you come with. It ain't going to alter me. That don't bother me. I done already told y'all that, and I'm proving it in certain cases. Don't bother me. I don't care. Because I understand people. And I understand this. I knew when I got in this that you wasn't going to like everything I said. I knew sometime I was going to piss you off. I knew it. But it's part of it. I got a charge to keep I have. I done told you. I got a charge. You ain't my boss. I don't have to report to you. I don't be caring nothing about no emotions, because that's all that is anyway. Just need to learn to manage your emotions. That's all it is. I just wait on you to let you grow up some. That's all I do. Because that's all it is. Ain't nothing but a pouting and all. Just cutting a fool about something. Because the Lord done challenged you in an area to tell you to grow your butt up. And you're fighting about it because you want to stay stagnant where you're at. You want to keep sitting in the place where you're at. And the Lord saying, get out of there. Come on from there. Come on from there. You know you're supposed to be praying. You know I done called you. You know there is a purpose on your life. And so then when I come in and I say something that aggravated, it mess with it, then you get upset. I don't be caring. I go to bed that night snoring. Because I knew when I took the assignment, I knew, girl, you crazy. You think they gonna like you all the time. You out your mind, Msphine. Don't you know sometimes you gonna have to say some stuff they ain't gonna like. Right. Don't you know that? Yeah. Okay then. So what you gonna be? You gonna be one of them that cower down the folk? Cause you worry about whether they gonna be there. You worry about whether they gonna give. Or you gonna be, well, I ain't studying none of that. You can't take a penny and make me cry. You can't be absent and make me cry. I feel most sorry for you being absent. Because I understand you ain't in the environment and you missing something. So my heart feels most sorry. Because I got the principle, see. I work for him. I work for him. We got to understand covenant. I don't cut covenant with God. I don't cut covenant with God. Hear me? I don't cut covenant with God. I love people. Christ died for people. I give myself for people. For every one of you. But my covenant is with the Master. And when you see me do what I do, guess what you see in me do? You see in me imitate. Amen. The covenant. Because the covenant was serious, wasn't it? So if I am a product of the covenant, shouldn't I be serious? So if I am a follower of Christ, if I am an imitator of Christ, then that means that I am to look like, be like Christ, right? So then, therefore, I should say to you the things that Christ said. Huh? Am I right or wrong? That's right. So if it's right, why do we always want to try to change it? Why do we always want to try to alter it? Because there is a part inside of us that is not whole like it needs to be. It's not going to get better until you become a whole person. I wish y'all would hear me in here. Things are not going to get better for you as long as you're broken. You've got to become whole. You've got to become the type of person that becomes solid on what you believe. Yes, God. All right. Yes, God. I believe what the book say. If the book say I'm going to go to hell, I'm going to hell. You can go and get with these folks and let them pump your head full of all that stuff you want to. And then you got some on the other side that'll say stuff like this, where, who wants to deal with an angry God? A God that'll punish people. Who wants to deal with that? Y'all better throw that in the garbage can. Because a covenant comes with responsibility. I told y'all last week, when you in a covenant, I'm going to read it to you. It establishes a particular way of life. Did you hear what I said to you? It establishes a particular way of life. You cannot be in a covenant and live any kind of way. Give them an example, Pastor Lee. If you married, is you supposed to be in all other men's faces and other women's faces and sleeping with them and all that? Huh? No, because you are in a covenant. So then, therefore, you supposed to carry yourself a particular way. Y'all, am I wrong or right? A covenant causes you to be a certain way. It puts a certain requirement on you. You see it all the time. Let somebody that's married, let their spouse do something they ain't got to do. What's the first time? You ain't supposed to be doing your husband like that. You ain't supposed to be doing your wife like that. See what I'm saying? We already know it's supposed to be served a particular way.
That's right.
Human to human. Third covenant. Hebrews chapter 6. Third covenant is you better have a covenant with yourself. You better have a covenant with yourself. God help me. Hebrews chapter 6. You better have a covenant with yourself. How many of y'all in here got a covenant with yourself? Tell the truth. You got a covenant with yourself. You got an agreement. A covenant is an agreement. You got an agreement with yourself. How many of y'all in here, you got an agreement with yourself? Raise your hand if you're sure. You must keep your hand down. You got a covenant with yourself. My sense of humor is so off the chain. And I am so in love with who I am. And I see why God would give me my own platform. You know, because nobody can dictate to me. I just won't let you. So I'm up there yesterday. I'm doing the ceremony. And my personality, my sense of humor just jumps in. Because, you know, it jumps in the pulpit. That's just how it is. And so I get to the part in the marriage. And I said, you know, if there's anybody here that could show cause as to why this couple can't be married, I said, I want to see you. I stepped out. I said, I want to see you. What them folks fell out laughing? I said, you know, I said, it's just me. You know, I love the fact that God has given me the opportunity to be me.
That's right.
And I won't let nobody take that from me either, boy. If I leave this world, I leave it being me. This is me. This is me. So you got to have a covenant with yourself. Hebrews chapter 6. Hebrews chapter. Wait a minute now. I thought I had my thing marked. What done happened? This thing I am. Oh. Hebrews chapter 6. All right. Verse 13. Check it out. Verse 13. It says, for when God made a promise, that's a covenant, to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, what did it say he did? He swore by himself. So he said, I got a covenant with myself. So see, the thing of it is you better in life have a covenant with yourself. And having a covenant with yourself means to have belief in yourself. It's to have an agreement with yourself. And that agreement with yourself is something saying something like this. I don't care what you say about me. What? I know I'm accelerating. I'm prospering. I'm favored. See, he swore by himself. He said because he could find none greater. So he swore by himself. Or he made a covenant with himself. He says, I can't find nobody that believes like I believe. I can't find nobody that'll talk the talk and walk the walk. So then I'm just going to cut covenant with myself. That's them little pep talks that you have to give yourself. The times that you have to encourage yourself. That is what David did when he encouraged himself in the Lord. He began to cut covenant with himself to say, listen, David, hey, you are a champion, man. You are a born winner. You hear me? Do you not understand what happened to you? All of the things that you went through, how they threw you in the back as a little shepherd boy, how they kept you away from everything that was going on and all of the festivities, but you mastered that thing and you came out of that thing. So how dare a situation try to talk to me now and tell me that I can't win, try to tell me that I can't excel, try to tell me that I can't prosper. David said the devil is a lie. When they looked at David and the people, it said, they looked at him and they talked trash and they began to murmur and begin to complain. It said he went away and he began to encourage him.